Today we're going to be reviewing the Trezor Model 1 by Satoshi Labs, and we're going to jump right into it today. We're going to start by taking a look at the packaging. It is vacuum sealed. Really nice branding all around. Really nice package as well. It is fairly light, just on initial impressions. The sides of the box are sealed, which is important for identifying tampering. We got two security seals on the top and bottom, which are the only two entry points to the box as well. And they do not come off easy, and you will be able to tell if they've been tampered with. The box itself is glued shut, so the packaging will get ruined, allowing you to easily identify if there has been any tampering behavior as well. Jumping right into the box, we're going to see the actual device and some other contents that are included. So we got some stickers and some of the classic stuff that's included in the box as well. Going through, we got a couple Trezor stickers. We got a Love Bitcoin sticker, which is a pretty cool one. And then of course we have our quick start guide. And I highly encourage anyone who's new to using a Trezor device to give it a read through. It will give you some good information on getting started. And then your personal recovery sheets. These are really important. Make sure to keep them close, as you'll be writing your backup seed phrase on those later. And then we get to the actual device here. So we have our cord, which is how we'll connect it to the computer, and then our actual device. So it is a micro USB. I would ideally like to see a USB-C, as I find that the micro USBs tend to break pretty easy. It is a pretty light plastic device. Now it is ultrasonically welded together, so if you do see a seam or if it pulls apart in any capacity, it may have been tampered with. This satisfying screen pull there. The screen is an OLED. It's 128 by 64 pixels, and the device itself is running an ARM Cortex M3 processor at 120 megahertz as well. The device is CE certified and ROHS certified. It is safe to take through an airport. Couple of buttons, and those are your required inputs. And a small short cable, which is typically more than enough. It might be nice to have a little longer cable, but you don't really need it in most use cases. So we're going to get started, and we're going to go to the Trezor website, and we're going to download the Trezor app. Now, when downloading the Trezor app, make sure that you go to the official website, trezor.io, and only get the official version, unless you really know what you're doing. But we're going to start by downloading it and installing it, and then we're going to boot it up right away here. So now that we got the actual application booted up, we're going to go ahead and set up our Trezor. Couple of information here: basic troubleshooting and basic instruction. Trezor does a really good job of instructing you through the setup process within their application. So we're just going to plug in our Trezor. And you're going to see right away it's acknowledged, and some information comes up on the screen, making sure, I think it displays the original website, and you can also change your boot screen as well to help you identify your device. So it's going to give a quick security check, make sure the device wasn't tampered with, make sure you bought it from a authorized reseller, and make sure the package has not been damaged in any way. We're going to go ahead and install the firmware. Now the firmware is signed with Satoshi Lab master key, and that's how it can identify the authentic firmware. There is two firmware types. There is the Bitcoin only firmware, and there is the standard firmware. For most users, I would recommend the standard firmware, as it's the easiest installation and less likely to have something go wrong. So now we're going to unplug our device and replug it back in to restart our setup with the new firmware. You're going to see it boot back up. And there we go. The firmware is properly installed, and we're going to continue to creating a new wallet. So you'll see that you have a couple options. We'll go over recovery wallet in a while towards the end of the video, but we're going to start with creating a new wallet. And we're just going to do a standard seed backup as well. So you're going to notice that some input is required on the wallet here, and all your 24 words are going to show up on the device itself and not your computer screen. This is to protect from screen readers or maybe other malicious software getting a hold of your private keys. And I really like this screen here. It helps you acknowledge why it's important to keep certain things safe and to double check that you've done the proper things when setting up your Trezor. I think this is a really handy setup phase. And we're just going to boot in here, and you're going to see our first word pops up on our OLED screen. So we're going to go ahead and write that down. Now, it's important to note that it is absolutely essential to keep these words safe at all times. Never show them to anyone, never let anyone see them, as if they have these 24 words, they can access your Bitcoin no matter if they have your device or not. So you're going to continue to your next word. What's cool about the Trezor is that it does require physical confirmations using the device. And it is only capable of a limited number of functions, but these functions are very, very important. And any action that is essentially important to the safety of your Bitcoin is required on the physical device. And then you're going to go through and confirm all your words here. Just make sure you have them all written down well, because this is your saving grace. This is the most important step of setting up your Trezor. Because if anything happens to the device or your computer, this is how you can recover your Bitcoin, and we'll go over that later. So now we're going to go ahead and set a PIN. You're going to see another confirmation pop up on the Trezor. Now this is really cool. I really enjoy this feature. I think it's very smart. The PIN actually scrambles on the device, and the PIN never shows up on your computer. Makes it easier if you're in a public place, which I don't recommend doing anything in a public place, but if you had to, it makes it a lot easier to keep your PIN private, as well as if there was any malicious software on your computer, any screen readers, it keeps it safe, and they won't be able to tell what your PIN is because it scrambles every time on your device. So it's never the same order of numbers. So we go ahead and we enter our PIN twice using our ledger device to know which number is which. And that's it, our PIN is set. So we're going to continue through here to the next step. So this is where we got to pick what cryptocurrencies we want to initialize our device with. We're going to do Bitcoin, Ethereum, and we might do Doge. Now, if you did want XRP and Cardano and a couple other coins, I would recommend upgrading to the Trezor Model T, as it will have those options available for you, a little wider selection. But for the most part, this Trezor will deal with any ERC20 token and most other cryptocurrencies. And that's it. So now we get to name our device. And we're going to name it EHA in this case, just for the fun of it. And now every time it's plugged in, you'll recognize it. And that's going to ask for a confirmation as well. Perfect. And now we have a couple options here. You're going to see the hidden wallet. You can actually create a 25th word. And what this allows you to do is have multiple wallets or hidden wallets within the same device, requiring that you have that 25th word in order to access it. Now, if you lose that 25th word, you will not be able to access that wallet. So it's also really, really important to keep safe. You're going to see all our assets and wallets load in here now. And we got lots of options. So you can see our security steps here. There is discrete mode. So if you're in a public place and you don't want people to be able to see your balances, you can enable that and it'll blur out all your balances. The passphrase that we mentioned, and then we got our PIN and our backup as well. We do have our total portfolio value. You can see if we go to accounts, all our different assets are listed here. And these are where we can interact with our cryptos in different manners. There is a trade functionality, which is pretty nice. So if you want to trade Bitcoin for Ethereum within your wallet, you can absolutely do that. I believe that's provided by a third party. We're going to go back to our dashboard, and you can see all our individual assets are listed there, and they'll lead you back to your My Accounts page as well. So we're going to go ahead and receive some Bitcoin, and I'll show you how to do that. So you're going to click on Receive. You're going to click Show Full Address, and you're going to get a QR code pop up. And you'll notice here as well that you get your address on the bottom there. Now this requires confirmation on your device, because if someone was able to manipulate your display on your device, you'd be able to catch it by verifying it on your physical device. So we've now received $15. We sent from our phone to that QR code, and we got $15 worth of Bitcoin here. And you can see it'll display in multiple locations throughout the app. I find the app very intuitive. It's got its prices everywhere. You just click the asset you're wanting to interact with, and away you go. The app does also have Tor and a couple other custom features. You can implement your own backend. You can connect your own node to it. You can install custom firmware, which are all really, really nice features. Settings and device. You can check your backup. You can switch your firmware right here to Bitcoin only. You can change your PIN, your passphrase. You can do your safety checks. You can also change your home screen image on your device. But in this case, we're going to do a factory reset with our crypto in here, so you can see how our recovery works and why your 24 words are so important to keep safe. Plug it and replug it back in, and we're going to see that we can set it up as a new Trezor. But in this case, we're going to click the recover wallet, because we're not creating a new wallet, we're recovering a wallet. And you have two options. You have standard recovery and advanced recovery. Typically, I always recommend advanced recovery, as nothing will be on your computer. The standard recovery is not quite as secure as the advanced recovery. But in this case, we are going to go through the standard recovery, as this is a burner wallet and this address will never be used again. And so you're going to see some options on your device pop up, and it's going to ask for a confirmation, and then it's going to list what word to enter in. Not the actual physical word, but it'll list it as word 1, word 2, word 3 of your seed phrase. So in this case, it'll be word 2, for example, and we'll enter that in. And then we'll enter in our 24th word. And this is to scramble things up and make it really hard if someone did, again, have malicious software on the device. Once you've entered all 24 words, you're going to see recovery complete. And we're going to go back to pretty much the exact same setup as before. All our cryptos are listed. We can select them. We can rename our device. From this point on, it's pretty much exactly like setting up a regular wallet. So we're going to confirm our name. And then we're going to click Access Suite. You're going to see that everything regenerates. And you're going to see that our Bitcoin is still there. So even though we deleted our wallet and our PIN, and we didn't know our PIN, and we didn't know anything other than our 24 words, we were able to recover the Bitcoin that we had in the wallet. The other nice thing is that it does list all your transactions. So you can see down here, received Bitcoin at what time, how much Bitcoin we received, and from what address. So now we're going to go over how to send Bitcoin. So we're going to paste our address in that we're sending to. We owe our buddy $15 for lunch the other day, and we're going to send him Bitcoin. So we enter our address, we enter the amount of Bitcoin we want to send him. We do have customizable fees. Now, a cool feature is that you can do a replace by fee. So if you did send to the wrong address by chance and you needed to replace that transaction, you can do that. It's a little more complex of a process, but that is something you can do to recover your Bitcoin in case of emergencies. It doesn't work all the time, so just be aware that it is an absolute last resort. So now you're going to see that it requires input for us to be able to send Bitcoin. And your physical device does have to be present, plugged in, and have to be confirmed on in order to send any Bitcoin out of this wallet. So we're going to verify the address, verify the fee, and then verify the total. Once we confirm all those details, we can click send. And now our transaction is broadcast to the blockchain and will be within their wallet in 20 minutes. Again, you can see that all our transactions are listed here as well. And that's all there is. There's send, receive. Those are the two most important features. You can also scan QR codes using your webcam, which I have found very useful. If I'm sending to myself for any purposes, I can just scan my phone or my mobile wallet and away I go. Again, there's Tor. You have your privacy mode. You can actually switch what your primary currency are. So we're going to go CAD. You can do your Bitcoin units. You can label each different account if you want. You can also export Excel sheets, which is really handy for tax reasons, or if you need to know where any money's gone. So if you're a company and you're holding Bitcoin as a treasury asset, that can be an absolutely useful tool. And lots of other devices. Trezor is also open source, which allows a community to continuously audit the software and even the hardware, which is a very important feature. And all you have to do to eject the device is click that eject button. And that's it. That's the Trezor. That's all its features and everything else. Overall, the Trezor is one of my favorite devices. It's super reliable, it's easy to use, and it's generally a great wallet. I would like to see a USB-C instead of a USB, or a micro USB rather. Overall, it gets a 4.5 for security. It gets a 4 for reliability. I've had mine for a few years and have had zero troubles. The price is $5. It comes in at 125 Canadian. and its ease of use as a fork, because some of the more back-end stuff or some of the more customizable stuff can be a little overwhelming. But overall, the Trezor is one of my absolute favorite wallets, and I highly encourage anyone considering a new hardware wallet to take a look at it.